for the time being, we're going to be trying to utilize this while we get our technical fixes done. Hopefully in all due time, it should come around. Let's check this out first and give it but a moment. Nonetheless, here we are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I should probably sound a lot better. For those of you that were hearing a bunch of static, I do apologize. All I know is that the microphone was peaking and that it was probably unbearable for a good 45 seconds. So once again, I do apologize for that. It seems that this startup with stream every time kind of messes with things, I must say. But we should get ourselves going here to get into the lobby in a minute. Fun little thing that me and the producers did in the background here, believe it or not. We said, look, the way things are going, we want the producers, staff, casters, everyone to predict what the outcome of these games will be. Not just who wins, but who's in fact going to win with what result. So, given that we have that as an option here, I will be starting up a poll for you all to participate in. And I highly suggest doing so because it is a ton of fun. So, let us start up this prediction here between Colombia and Venezuela. Your time is going to be 10 minutes for this prediction here. I highly suggest you do so. You get a lot of fun with those Nami points, if you will. And we actually are reselecting the map here. I thought I had missed it initially, but apparently neither side was quite ready yet. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Hopefully by the time everyone is listening in, yes, I fixed the audio by then, as I'm seeing on the playback now that I'm addressing it. Between the two teams, I think we're going to be in for a very good show here. Now, as for my prediction that I had for you, I'm going to ride it as this match is going to be a 2-0 sweep this time around in favor of Colombia. Now, there's a good solid reason as to the why I decided this way. When looking at the historical performance so far, Venezuela has not been doing as well, unfortunately, in Copa America compared to Colombia. And I think you definitely are going to be seeing that difference here in tonight's match. There's only going to be 2 more rounds here for the qualifiers, this one and whichever match we cover next. So it's going to be very important for these teams to show what they've got because only 6 teams will advance into the playoffs here for that cash prize money. So it's going to be a big fight for them to try to bring it forward. So we'll just have to see what the decider is for the map. And just a little fun. Yes, I get to detach that. I'm used to working with 2 microphones. You don't have to question as to the why, as that is for me to know, and you to maybe someday find out. That being said, here I believe we are going to be getting ourselves selected here with a map with a minute that we have remaining. I do hope the teams are aware that we are an hour earlier than the previous nights, as that's what it just lined up for with the schedule. It is Sunday, so come Monday, you're going to have a lot of working people. A lot of people are going to be trying to hit the ground running come work day again. So just going to be waiting time. We have a minute remaining here still for this map selection. Still not seeing any jump on it yet. Wondering if the teams are even there is my question. Hello, Mech. Good to have you in the chat here. In fact, for those of you that are seeing, I do have a new Twitch goal. If we're able to hit it, I don't think we will, but if we could, that'd be pretty cool. Type Colombia. Well, Colombia is the name of the team right above my head there. As that is... Oh, I misspelled Colombia. That is egg on my face. And I did play BioShock at some point, so yes. Yes, I did. So I can do a fix on that real quick. Thank you for correcting me there, Sarah. Because that's embarrassing. It's not scuffed if it's not Sami, isn't it? That being said, here we do have our map selection. We are now going to be heading on over here to our first map. Let's take a look at what they have chosen. It will be Ilios. Very strong startup there. And we are going to be having our first ban here. I believe Colombia will be the one to get the first ban. Just waiting to see what that decision is to be made. So just going to be waiting for those final selections. Glad to see the teams are alive and moving. So as we'll turn things back to me here. It's one of those things. I also work in a place called Columbia, and it tends to be spelled with a U. So yeah, I think I got too used to a certain way of spelling it, which definitely is not the right way of spelling it. That being said here, teams are taking their time for these bans. If I were looking for a ban here on Ilios, I wouldn't be surprised for a Bastion ban here. Cat could still be very useful for either side, but people don't want to deal with Cat Bastion. If a team's going for anti-dive, definitely going to be seeing that elimination of Diva, but high requirement usage for the hazard. So could also see that involvement there. I mean, at this point, the way I'm seeing it, I'm really hoping for a bit of a wow factor here that kind of changes things up from the previous 2 days from watching these teams. As mentioned, I believe Colombia is going to be the winning side with a 2-0 if it goes the way it has been. However, if Venezuela can pull a surprise trick from their bag, definitely could catch them by surprise here. That being said, just me, or is it taking just all the more time for them to lock in? Well, teams have 30 seconds remaining for just the first ban here, so at this point, I think I'm just going to have to be waiting to see that final result. I am laughing to myself why you were able to lock in on me playing Bioshock from earlier on. That's pretty funny to me. So our first ban here that we do see is going to be Jetpack Cat. That's an interesting one here. I think that ban comes from the side of Colombia, I want to guess. And I won't be able to see the second ban until 5 minutes later when both sides have finished setting their lineup. So we are going to be getting into game hopefully very soon. Now, given that you're already getting rid of the cat in this situation, you are taking that air control out of the rotation here immediately. That allows you to be able to play very quickly on rotations and not have to deal with someone flying in from an angle you weren't expecting. Very much older Overwatch, I would describe it as. That being said here, there is still more to be had, as, like I said, no idea who is going to be the second ban here until everything's finished. I would like to imagine here, right, that if we're looking at things, you could probably more than likely see a use against a tank ban here. I could definitely see that happening, but I feel like a DPS ban here would be stronger than a tank ban that you may have to face later down the line, given that there's only so many tanks and a lot more damage rolls in the game right now. Man, I have to say, these teams are taking, personally for me, an unusually long time with the with what they were given. Usually I'm used to seeing teams load up right away, lock in immediately. But to be able to use the full 5 minutes is actually a smart thing to do. Kind of take me for example, right? I'm already ready to go looking for this game to get started, but for teams that have a little more patience, that's a great way to drain your opponent's energy because they're well too into over the top anticipating a match to start that won't happen quite as fast as they want. So it gets them a bit more on edge and it gets in their head, which is exactly what you want to kind of trick up your opponents. So with that said here, so I have 2.5. I would like to see, out of curiosity, who our official starting lineup was. As I mentioned before, I had my predictions of who the starting lineup could be for tonight. So if we were to take a look at those again, for the side of Colombia here, I had initially Butcher here and Super Gomez on DPS. Now, Super Gomez, I believe, was originally a tank role, but with your other selection of players here, I think they were playing for comfort or flexibility. So if Super Gomez truly is for tank and is able to perform as such, I think they'll be able to actually give us a real good showing here tonight. Kratos and Mixby have been a very solid backline so far, and I'm not expecting too much else to change from them. They've been core concrete. As for their opposing side here for Venezuela, not too much to go off here, unfortunately, for this broadcast here. I do recall Skycard, I believe, but for most of Venezuela, nothing too memorable from the little bit that I glimpsed beforehand. So I'm definitely ready to be told otherwise here. I mean, I'm always going to be looking to root for the underdog if it is present. Does not mean it always turns out that way, right? And other streams are also up and live already to go, believe it or not. So, that being said here, let us hopefully get ourselves going within these last minute here. Remember, we're going to be on Ilios. We've already got our ban on Jetpack Hat. Still looking for that second ban to see if it's a tank or DPS role. And to kind of discern how the lineups will go from there. I will say there are some names here that do catch me a bit by surprise. I've noticed that throughout the entire time I've done these casts so far, is that not everyone that I had listed is on my production side of things. So if I do find another team or player that just shows up, then I'm going to have to make adjustments from there, of course. And here we go. Finally ready to get ourselves going on into this. Let's see what the teams have to work with. Team Venezuela already loaded in from the get-go here. They are rocking and ready to go, mind you. So good to see that from them. And regarding our second ban here, Sojourn. Very, very good ban, I would say. Fairly solid, I wouldn't mind. Regarding Sojourn, Sojourn's just a good base utility player all around for her kit on the damage roll. I would definitely like to see what your substitute's going to be here. Probably not going to be anything like an on-run. If you're trying to play for double flex, there's a possibility, but for your trade up there from hit scan perspective here, your replacement for Sojourn is actually a little bit tougher. You might be utilizing a Tracer, which would make a bit of sense on how much ground you have to cover around Ilios. Other selections, Cassidy has a bit of use, but it's going to be really just more frontline based compared to high momentum. And being able to take space is very important on a map such as Ilios. Now, I do believe here that there is going to be a difference here in that lineup I said for Colombia. Instead, we're going to have someone named Rocode for the side of Colombia with possibly the starting lineup here. Oh, and it seems that the lobby has kicked back. I'm guessing that if this happens a third time here, then we're going to be having probably a bit of an issue here. I'm not sure if it would count for forfeit if team is just no-showing. So it should be the same bans here between Jetpack Cats and Sojourn. Maybe a timed out just because of having the right people in the right place. And I think that might have just been the case here. No. No. Not the case to be said. Oh no, I'm just confused what's happening at this point. I'm trying to buy time, but there's not much more I can ramble about here. I mean, I can give you my thoughts on the other teams that are going to be playing tonight, how they are going to fare. So, in terms of everyone for round 6, I will give you these lineup predictions here. Between Canada and Honduras, I believe Canada is going to win that out 2-1. I think Honduras could pull a map over them, but I think Canada gets the win in the end. Regarding Costa Rica versus USA, look, I love to support my home team USA, but from the performance that Costa Rica has been showing in this cup, I gotta say, Costa Rica 2-0 to USA. I know, not a big, a little more on the shocking side for a prediction, given that they are more of the top teams, and typically as you get close to the top teams, you get more of those 2-1 series in the best of threes. But I do think here that it's going to be a 2-0 for that one. Next one here, Mexico versus Nicaragua. I also think that's going to be a 2-0 flat out. Nicaragua has been just struggling. There's no other way to describe it. They have not been doing too well in the series. Mexico has been solid contender so far, so I just see that going well. And the last one to mention here, now I had this one backwards here, but I'm locked in for this prediction, so I can't change it now, which is going to be Puerto Rico versus Peru. Puerto Rico 2-0ing Peru. Yeah, I think I'm wrong in that aspect, but if it happens, hey, it happens. Now we are going to be finally having our teams loading on in here, and I gotta say, I almost recognize none of these players for Colombia. Unless they change their names overall. I don't think that is the case, actually. So, just me being surprised, I guess, at what we have to see here. Oh, no. So, something that I've noticed when it comes to Face It is that these teams and players tend to not match what their battle in-game name is going to be with their profile name. So, from time to time, it will definitely get me in the confusion. And we kick back again. This has been a consistent problem so far, I must say, between these two teams. So I don't know if someone's just not loaded into Overwatch yet, but we are going to try to load into lobby for a third time. Hopefully third time's the charm, right? We'll just have to wait and see here. Lineups are being finalized once again. And that's all there really is to it here. Reminder, if you haven't joined the Discord, by the way, for the Overwatch Brazil Latam, I believe it says. If you want to try to answer those giveaways, I do highly suggest doing so. Make sure you have that Portuguese role to be able to see the giveaway section if they run another one tonight. It could be anything between winning the Battle Pass, winning the Starter Pack, winning a bundle. They got a lot to work with. So with that being said here, yeah, if we're going to be keeping waiting like this, I might as well cut it to a break because we are going nowhere fast at the moment. Here we go. Locking in again. Is it third time's the charm? Please let it be that at this point. All right. I think we finally have ourselves going. I think this has been wait for Colombia here, unfortunately. And there's not much else I can really describe here. We've just been in a waiting game. So once we get these last two players in from Colombia here, we should be ready to go. Should be. At this point, I'm not even sure anymore. Ooh, it seems two players from the side of Colombia have still not accepted their invites. Yeah, we're going to be, once again, like I said, probably looking at a break here very soon. I mean, personally, I feel like I'm just going to be weighing this out the entire time. There's no other way for me to describe this. I must say it's, in its own sense, kind of ridiculous. With that said here, if these teams don't get this figured out very soon, I would say we're going to be just moving on potentially to the next round. I got to think to myself, there is some sort of forfeit system here. That being said, they're probably going to have to remake the lobby again, unless... No, you can't even invite people to these lobbies. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. One of them shows up. Oh, the phone chat. We actually might have people loading in. Oh, wouldn't that be stupendous? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, about time now. But otherwise, how are you doing on your end, chat? Hope you guys have had a very good weekend. I myself have had a very busy weekend. And happy Father's Day to everyone. If you haven't said happy Father's Day to your dad, do so. It gives them a bit of a smile. All right. So, just waiting on one here. Hopefully Colombia has themselves good to go. I think they're just facing technical difficulties. If I'm being honest, I just don't think everyone's quite having the same connection as we would hope they would. But things happen. As soon as this last player loads in, I swear we are going right in the game. But I am curious, chat, what is your prediction here? See, I saw only one person vote who's going to win in the prediction. So it has me thinking here, since only one person thinks Colombia is going to win against Venezuela, is there any Venezuela believers here tonight? Is there? Like I said, I would love to see Venezuela actually surprise me here and be able to take the win from Colombia. I mean, at this rate, if Colombia isn't able to show, then not much else we can do here. That being said, I am curious, for those watching, I know I have a good number of you viewers here coming in from Venezuela, says I see one of the players, but also for Colombia here, do we have anyone from Colombia, or is it all Venezuelan? And do we have anyone from the US? I see the one for Mech. Fun little interactive tool I get to see on Twitch over here, believe it or not. If I were to take a look here, I could probably scroll down real quick. Just to peek at it. Oh, here we go. Oh, so I have the following. I have one person from Colombia viewing currently. I got 3 people from Costa Rica and 1 from the United States of America. Nice. But I am curious. Which 3 people are watching me for with Costa Rica? I'm not covering Costa Rica yet. There's a chance that I could, of course. So, as we get ourselves going. Oh, yes. The admins are happy. I'm going to be able to get you guys capture some more high quality gameplays for the social media as well. We did a little bit of fixing so that way, for those of you that did see the Twitter post from one of my clips, apparently Twitter downgrades the quality a bit. So that's why it went the way it did. We should be able to have better footage going forward. That's key term, should. We will have to see still. In the meantime, while we have been waiting here, let me just take a quick peek over here at other matches, see if any of them are already underway. For our currently ongoing one, we do have a... Ooh. Yes. All right. I see that one of my predictions here is already going well. One of my predictions immediately is correct here. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, interesting. Okay. It seems that I am on track with all my predictions so far, as I'm seeing it, believe it or not. And we've been kicked back to the main screen again. Oh, goodness. So, keeping track of what the scores are going right now. Remember, my predictions here was Canada versus Honduras, 2-1 Canada. Costa Rica, USA, 2-0 Costa Rica. Mexico, Nicaragua, 2-0 Mexico. Puerto Rico versus Peru, 2-0 Puerto Rico. The current standings is Puerto Rico 1-0. From there, you have Honduras up 1-0. Mexico already finished with a 2-0, and Costa Rica up 1-0. So right now, I'm on track for a perfect score here, potentially. Which personally is pretty exciting since the Gold Cup, where I almost was getting every prediction down to the team lineup itself. I am getting a message from the organizer here that there is some roster issues for Colombia, so there's... Ooh, all right, we're loading in again. Can we get a game? There it is! Finally! It looks like we're loading in with people. I believe they had to change out one person for their starting lineup, and we are finally going in the game. Enough rambling from me. Let's have some fun. Here we are. Welcome to Overwatch. Now, if this wants to do right by me and show the game, there we go. Here we are, loaded into Ilios. I gotta say, how long... We have been rambling for at least a good 15 to 20 minutes waiting for this live to get started. So, I don't know about you, chat, but I am ready to go.
Ready for battle.
All right.
5,
without further ado, we got our teams loaded on in here. Let us begin. Gonna be starting things on off here, and you already see Tohu coming out here on the Malga. Very good start up here, and good counter start here that will be played against Winston. Now the Winston here definitely has to be careful. You're dealing with a Junkrat here, so the trap is sitting right in front of you. You don't want to get rid of it recklessly here. Oh, and a double limb triple gonna be coming on out. As well, it looks to be struggling here at the moment. Gonna be forced to back on off, as you will witness the point capture begin for Colombia. Yeah, went all the way to the opposite spawn there. And now gonna be getting things moving in. So, as it starts up here, looking for that immediate burst. The Pharaoh has a great angle here from New 7. And looking to see if they can get a shutdown. I think the biggest struggle here definitely going to be coming on out here from DeMarts. And that's where you see it immediately there. See, you're playing into a Pharaoh there. It's not looking good unless Millennia is able to get those takedowns. Now, Skycard does get the initial here. Oh, Tolu! Oh, you hate to see it. Yeah, you just hate to see that happen. But so it goes. So continuing this capture here with over 50% and counting, no other swaps coming out from the side of Venezuela yet. Which, not a very well-advised situation to find yourself in. Oh, but Dragon's going to start it on up, getting that first elimination there onto the sport line. There you're going to be finding Winston against the Emery, and now Tulu, once again, fighting for their life as Skycard falls. Hey, it's not looking good for Venezuela. Forced on back in the spawn here, takes one hit, gonna be fallen. I don't think Venezuela's got much left to work with here. They have no ults available. New 7 is sitting on top of that barrage here, and you're down to the last 7 seconds. You lose Bobby Wasabi there, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to do anything. That boop off the side as round 1 goes to Colombia. Now here we go. Welcome to the well. You got a big hole in the center, and you have a bit of change in your playstyle here, and especially going to be looking here at Colombia, hinting that hog. Are they actually going to stick to the hog? I don't think so. Hard part for Venezuela here is that Tolu seems to be really suffering on the Malga, who would honestly have a better time countering Colombia on paper. So to see such a struggle is very odd. It's unusual for Malga to have such problems like so. Looking towards the sky there, they understand the Pharaohs are around, and we do see they are going to be keeping that Roadhog here. I mean, it works for the well if you're able to hook them in. Going right in front of there. Going to be pushed right into the Xion to start, but New 7 will be able to trade things back as Roadhog here trying to play around this well. Again, you're in a bit of a dangerous situation, but not as bad as what New 7 faces, getting that execution. The boop and the sink! Gonna be able to find Tohu, but not before falling themselves. We have a bit of a scrappy fight going on here, all things considered, but the Roadhog's going to be the one that holds the line to start, but needs to hit those hooks. Not going to be able to sustain as it's starting to go a bit to the wayside here. I think a big turnaround is coming on out from this Xion here that's really helping make up for the struggles they were facing earlier. Despite what looks to be more projectile based, it does truly go like a hit scan. going to be watching around here. I think if I'm Venezuela right now, excuse me, hit the wrong key. If I'm Venezuela right now, you have control of the point and you've now surpassed it, right? You do not want to put yourself out into the open like so. That's going to put you in a bad position here. And I'm not sure what the Malgo's running for. There's no one to go after. Instead, New 7 is going to have free reign just running around. Going for the run in there. Do we see anything but the hook to the ground with the takedown against Skycard there? You lose 2 as Bobby Wasabi looking towards the back line here. Not able to predict the Junkrat, but they get the job done nonetheless. Stall the point out to 56. Good attempt there, but Colombia really looking to try to stick it here. So starting things on up. You're now going to be on the D.Va. D.Va's going to be a great counter here to that Pharaoh, but you got to play it smart for these short engagements. Skycard going to find the Xion. Bobby Wasabi. Pharaoh now going to be finding themselves in a bit of trouble, but now surrounded from behind. Loses mech and going to be forced to back on off. Tyre is there. Will find the Lucio with Sunburst from above. As the D.Va tries to look for mech to come on back. Milena going in with the White Tiger there, but not going to be able to find anything to it. Ooh, an unfortunate situation, but a great lineup there from the Mart. Seems they're working with angles here. Cooking with grease fire. As the compliments given by Bobby Wasabi. Remember, your point is currently in control of Venezuela, so if they can maintain this, this could be very pivotal here. Now going to be working with the orbital cannon, but you have the Roadhog ult in effect. And Roadhog here now losing use of it, misses the hook, and that will cost them their life unless they can recover off the health pack here. Not a great spot to find yourself in. Went for the hook, but only ended up getting themselves killed. Yes, Roadhog needed to just play for their life. They're behind cover, and they could have sustained to re-engage into this fight. Now it's a big reliance here on the rest of the team to make a touch here, probably off of Bobby Wasabi to start. And there you are in the overtime with the D.Va into effect. But 2 are only going to fall for the side of Colombia here, and now it's looking a bit more disastrous. Raj comes out, but does not find any value. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to be heading for round number 3.
Score 1-1.
There you have it. Let's take a look at our scoreboard as it stands here. Honestly, fairly even across the board there. You were seeing that Colombia really had the initial lead there off of that first map, but what really kind of dampers the situation is that a lot of this comes out from lack of fights. Only towards the second round did you see a lot more engagement coming in from either team. And that really shows how they were able to now have some more chance. Junkrat there, triple mine out of the spawn. Immediately looking for the setup here, but now you're going to be dealing with this Widowmaker. Has the sight lines here that can threaten anyone in their wake. Just needs to line up the shots there. D.Va still alive, trying to see if they can get that mech. Oh, you need to hit those. You will get them, as you're going to find 2 there to start. Bobby Wasabi here on the Sierra. If they hit their shot, that could be a great start up there. But the longer you fire, the more accurate it becomes. A funny thing how Sierra kind of plays. A bit opposite from what you would typically see from an aim character. Where the more you fire, the more recoil you have to fight. Very much fighting for the life. You got to give so much credit here to the Kiriko, keeping them alive throughout that entire situation with Lucio on the assist. but you can only do so much here, and they still will not go down. Goodness gracious, this Kiriko is a godsend. So with Widow ult up online here, having the vision to see through, Venezuela once again finds themselves in a very bad situation here. And the pressure is only going to keep on applying here. As we're seeing them taking full space. When working against a diva, I would probably play a little safer. But I've seen how Winston's, if they play their hand right, they could really kind of trip up divas that should have more DPS potential. Yet they don't have enough bulkiness to them. And that's going to be another takedown there from New 7. New 7 still completely unchecked here from the high ground. If Xion can get in their face, that could assist them. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. I mean, this diva losing mech once again from the start there. And the headshot to complete it. Oh, I think this could be it here. Junkrat is the only one that could make a touch. Going for the hero play? No. It'll have to be a Lari. Big sunburst there. The start has the opportunity. Finds the first elimination there. But can they get any more is the question. It was a great stall there to the overtime. But I don't think it was enough, mind you. As we're taking the fight to you. Right away there. Sierra finding 3. Bobby Wasabi looking to see if they can shut out this diva. Will be able to. Diva Bomb does activate. But they live to tell the tale. And I think with all bets down here, that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Colombia takes map number 1. And going to be seen here for our ending scoreboard. Play the game, brought to you by Hanzo. I made a big startup here. We saw this just earlier before we clicked off. Big sharpshooter efforts from Bobby Wasabi, lining it up perfectly. Beautiful hits there. Well, we're going to bring it right back to me here while teams have some time. I'm going to throw to a quick break, folks. So it shouldn't take too much time. I would say we'll be back in about a couple of minutes here. So see you very soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, like I said, we are back at it again here. Now going to be going into our bands, but let's take a first look at what our map selection will be, shall we? For our first map here, we are going to be seeing that we are now taking it on over to Junkertown. As you can see here immediately, the first map ended with a 2-1 win in favor of Colombia, which I gotta fix the pronunciation of it again. I swear we will get that corrected here in just a moment. Quick little edit. That will save permanently. Perfect. No more mistyping from my end. Thank you. So, given that, we are going to be having our first hero band coming out from Team Venezuela. It's going to be Widowmaker. I'm not too surprised Widowmaker was able to run freely in that last map with no one to stop them. And to give you an idea on the predictions as it stands, believe it or not, I think I'm currently leading the board in the entire round 6 predictions so far. I haven't been told otherwise, but the way it's looking, I have 1, 2 correct as it stands with 3 on potential. If we get this match correct as well and the next one, which looks to be on track for a 5th, I could have a full 100% correction prediction, which would be fantastic. Is it going to happen? I'm not 100% sure on that. Still out with the jury on that one, I would say. Nonetheless, here we are going to be trying to focus in on what the remaining selections are. We'll see what that other band will be, and hopefully get into lobby here very, very soon. I got to really give credit here to New 7. They have been a phenomenal use case here in that prior map on the Farah. I mean, putting in tons of work there. So for Venezuela there, you're looking at between who's the most, I would say, pressing threats on the side of Colombia. You had the Farah there already to deal with, and then you had the Widowmaker. So Farah went over the Sierra, which also doubled down on difficulty in such a situation. And the callback to Winston, a very odd one to say the least, but they played it very smart, and they were smart aggressive. That's the thing. You could be smart or aggressive, but to be smart aggressive is to understand the balance between the two of how to play it strategically while also keeping on the pressure. Have you ever heard the term smart aggressive? You'll hear it more for the side of traditional sports compared to esports. So teams are going to be loading on up here, and now we do have a side swapping going on here. Believe it or not, let us load it on in order to show you, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be here, if I'm reading this right from myself. Looking at this, yes. Venezuela is going to be starting on the attack, while Colombia will start on defense. So between the two teams here, Colombia, again, looked very strong when they had their distance to work with. Personally, I have a little bit of a strategy on this map that's a bit on the cheeky side. Not many people employ it because it is very akin to the old Orisa kind of strategy from Overwatch 1. To give you an idea, you get the cart roughly around towards the front of this corner here, right? And as a Domina player, your house is this corner. From here, you actually have an ability to contest the cart from this position. So being able to stay here at all times makes you practically unstoppable. If you give up that high ground, you pretty much give up that corner. And that is what you have to make sure that does not happen. In these team fights, when you're looking at a dive versus dive, between the two of them, it's really a matter of who's able to take space a lot more appropriately. And for Tuhu, on that hazard, that could work out in their favor very, very well. But that's where you have someone to make up for it, that being the Bastion here. And that's Kratos, believe it or not, filling the role of a DPS player. I would say for the side of Colombia here, very confident to be able to hold this ground and to pretty much maintain it with little aggression against them. I mean, look at this from the hazard here. Almost falling, but will be getting the trade out there from the Xion on the side. And now probably see if Bobby Wasabi can do the same. Will be able to. Big knockdown there to start. Needs to deal with the Junkrat. Was able to, but those headshots need to hit. Very important situation. Yes. Hey, Rokod, it's understandable about the delays. I do appreciate that you guys were able to play. That is my biggest focus here, is that I get to see some great quality games from players and some passion from it all. I myself, being a retired Overwatch player, at least on the collegiate side, now coaching, pretty much this is my day job. Right, so take a look at this kind of breakdown and situation here. This is where Colombia is really falling apart when you get to this open part of the map. To systematically break it down, you had a separation here, Bastion and Mercy. Bastion gets separated around the wall. Mercy is caught on the open by the hazard, and Bastion is focused down. Winston forced the back on off, and now dealing with a face full of spikes, Nano and Suni. So with 2.5 minutes awarded to the attacking side here, Venezuela has 4.5 minutes to really lock things down. Now Night Owl really having a lucky streak there, staying alive in such a situation. Now going into Valk mode, trying to see if they can provide the damage boost. And the pistol is out, chat. Do we get to see a Mercy takedown? Could Night Owl show us what it means to be a Mercy player? No, going to play it safe, play it smart, but unfortunately, DeMart's going to challenge their positioning. Oh, and DeMart's going to be taken out with the snipe from Winston. Funny thing, monkey snipe, right? Practically should not be a thing, but it is. Gonna dodge the rain down there as the artillery barrage comes on in. Will not find any eliminations, or so I thought. Junkrat's trying to see if they can get a hit off of that tire there. Will be able to find two. That's both supports traded back to themselves. However, unless Winston has a huge play towards the rear here, I don't think they've got a lot to work with. Xion trying to run for their life as they help to trade the Ana here. We'll be able to take it on down as they play for the health pack. We're in a bit of a reverse situation here. Hazard still on the hunt for this, but Winston gets the Primal Rage off. Going to be able to actually take this kill back. I think Venezuela made a huge mistake on the chase. They got the kills. All you got to do is push the cart. You have the numbers, you stack up, you get a lot of progress to work with. It's great to try to get your kills, to get your perks, but you got to be objective focused here. Otherwise, you waste your own time once you have that advantage. And I think that's what really hurt them there, allowing Colombia to regroup here into this fight. Oh, new 7. Barely able to get out alive as the Martz is about to come around this corner and say hello. Fireworks display on the high. Just needs to line up those shots. Look to be good against Kratos, but they live for this fight. Nade in the face there, but Junkrat lives to tell the tale. I'm telling you, a lot of good plays coming in from either side here, but it's the finishing plays that really stand out. Good knockdown there, trying to see if they can peel for the Ana. Mercy needs to play for life. Unfortunately, that's not going to be able to happen here as new 7 locked into the bubble and once again falling. And this is going to be another round here, but 2 from Bobby Wasabi, but no one is left for the touch, so unfortunately a wasted on into that fight. 1.5 minutes is awarded to Venezuela. And it seems they got a bit more of a pep in their step now. So, gonna be looking to see how this turns around here. You got Skycard already loaded up for the Sunburst here. if they want to. Just needs to get close enough for a reasonable use. Line up the shot, will get Kratos down thanks to Millennia, as Tulu is hunting in the backline. Oh, but the Primo going to be forcing people on out. Hazard not going to be able to survive it as he's looking to take the space. Has a decision to make. Dodging the sleep. And they will proceed to stop the cart. Now, this is a little fun fact here for those of you that are aware, believe it or not. This is the Blizzard exclusive Winston skin. A little fun fact I like to share with you from time to time. Big takedown there as you're going to be having the Kitsune Rush going on in. You got 3 already down. Ana's going to be forced on back as there is only the Alari from the high ground. Will be losing their life to Bobby Wasabi. So good team kill earned there by Colombia. Now let's take an overall look here, shall we? We have 3 ults available for Colombia, 1 for the side of Venezuela, and I think Bobby Wasabi is trying to say what's up, but unfortunately, it's going to be their downfall as they overextend themselves. Oh, little chaos ensuement. Let's look at the tire strats. Trying to take their time here, needs to just confirm for the pick. Teleport there just in time, and off the res here, it's time for the Annihilation Protocol. Looking for the lineup of these shots here, finds the first to start, but will be traded on down in the end. A big hero play to start. You have Nano coming on out from Xion, who's looking to go in with the White Tiger. They will get a takedown there, but at the cost of their own life. Purple Rain blocked, and Ana nowhere close to surviving. Winston has that primal, will be able to pop it in order to sustain themselves, setting up for the juggle, gets him trapped into the corner. This is a great place to find him, and he's going to continue on through and live to push forward. Tulu not going to be able to sustain themselves into that cubbyhole of a room. Like the idea they were seeing it. Oh no, White Tiger Barrage looking for the takedown. They find the Ana there in the end, so it's a great startup to begin with. And 10 seconds remaining here as Colombia finds themselves holding this, going into overtime. So that last second touch there by the Hazard as the fight takes place on point. People will be finding themselves desperately finding out. This is up to Tulu to really bring a fight back around, but they needed that Winston gone yesterday. And we're going to be taking a look here at the mid-round scoreboard. With round 1 complete, big effort being put in from the side of Colombia there. I mean, 23-1, that is huge value to have as a tank player. You don't really get to see that too much, especially at any competitive play. So, great utilization for a Winston player. And for the side of Venezuela, pretty even across the board. A lot of work being put in there from Skycard on that Juno with the torpedoes on takedowns before they had the swap. So as we're going to be loading on up here with our hero selection, really kind of focusing on the quality of the picks here, I would dare say. I mean, let's take this evaluation a little bit further, right? You still see the Marts running that Junkrat. I love seeing Junkrat. I love seeing the angles, but even Jake from Overwatch had a bit of trouble when he played professionally, and as such, did not always get to run his Junkrat, but he will always be remembered for it. So, Demart's may be trying to aim for that same glory here. I only wish you the best, because it's going to be a bit of a hard one to confirm it. Unless Bobby Wasabi wants to try to match it. That would be an interesting ego play there to start, taking out that trap immediately with damage boost here to work with, but needs to play it safe. Not quite hitting the angle for the arch. So, as you can see, doesn't quite have the read they need. But on the basic Gecko here, Kratos' son will find the first Bobby Wasabi, and we have a pause in place. I do not know if we have a DC taking place at the moment. We do, in fact. It's going to be a DC coming on out here from Venezuela. Hopefully Millennia is alright. Millennia did go down in that fight, so they're not going to be missing too much for the side of Venezuela. In fact, this could give them a very quick respawn here, if anything. They have roughly 30 seconds to get Venezuela's player back into the lobby here. Otherwise, the match will continue forth. So it could get very, very difficult very quickly. And given that you have this mini here, this actually does break up the play for the game to start. It gives a bit of breathing room to the teams. And 3 seconds remaining. Let's see. Do they get their player back? No, sirree, that is not going to be the case. So they're going to have to fight a 4v5 down a player. Venezuela needs to rethink their strategy. Oh, Junkrat there, just sitting on the corner. As the card continues its slow progression, now going to get at least 2 people on, so that will provide some more speed. But for a 4v5, they're handling it very, very well. I mean, you take a look at this, right? The difference between the two of them right now is that one played for patience, the other not so much. And New 7 here just going to be sitting into that wall. Now they have their player back. Will we see a full commit again? Wasn't sure if Colombia was trying to play it even for a 4v5 or if they were just looking to get progress where they possible. But you have that ultimate advantage here for the side of Colombia. Night Owl will be the first to fall there, so not a great startup for yourself as you lose 2 players. I mean, Hazard has been very consistent running into this backline, keeping the DPS and supports in check at all time, while Winston is forced to fend alone against Venezuela here. You're going to be seeing that jump once again. Purple Rain coming on in as they look for the takedown there, but not going to be able to find that value. Bobby Wasabi finds Skycard the start, make that 2, could see more in the backline, while you're seeing Colombia desperately look to fight, but no progress on this car. Is where you start to see that struggle. And Hazard now find himself on the receiving end of this aggression as Colombia begins their progression on cards. If I'm Colombia right now, I want to get 3 people on this card ASAP. We need maximum power in order to get it to its destination before anyone can recontest. I think they're trying to do just that here. Really taking a look. You have the Junkrat going on in. The Kitsune, or not Kitsune, the Suzubel will provide the cover they need. Really great there for the juggle starts as Bobby Wasabi just sits high ground rent-free. Look at him. He is at the range having a pretty much free shoot. And 2.5 minutes have been awarded to Colombia. But they have a bit of time to make up for it, mind you. Because in comparison to Venezuela, who had 4.5 minutes to work with, same can't be said for Colombia, who has to play it a lot safer. And Bobby Wasabi, I think, is in a very bad position to find themselves the mark. Going to get that takedown, looking for the regroup. Could have a big opportunity for the tire here. Needs to play for their life. Mine's just missing, but Kratos' son falls in the end. You have everyone here on Karn. They're just trying to buy time. Winston will be able to force back the Junkrat. But again, I think Colombia is hurting right now from objective reactionary plays. Able to just get out in time. No eliminations to be found from the tire, but Bobby Wasabi will go down. Mercy the fall suit. And Colombia still having these very, very scrappy fights. Purple Rain goes on in, finds no hits. As Winston is forced back, the Kiriko will be able to recover with team here as Bobby Wasabi is barely alive. You have res in play, but for Bobby here, getting to this high ground is very important. As we're now with the Annihilation Protocol, needs to hit their shots, but so much time in the air, but no eliminations to be found. I mean, again, I said it before, I'll say it again, Skycar has been good in a lot of work. You do have that Death Blossom to start a play on up, but I don't think Bobby Wasabi is going to be able to survive the fight. Just going to be able to get rid of that trap there to start. They really desperately need to be able to get a takedown here. Those nades dealing a lot of damage off of a missed block. But the White Tiger is in, and they're looking for some takedowns. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. The ride is too much for this lifetime as Primal Rage is going into the backline there. Big startup to try to kind of separate this Kiriko. Will not get the finish, but Kratos-san does trade it on back. Bobby Wasabi playing for the Mega here as Junkrat's coming up. Gets the trap there to start with the doubling limb. Big takedown to start. Can we see the tire to finish it? Has to decide if they want to. Yes, sirree. That's going to be 3. And Junkrat there. DeMart's saving it for the side of Venezuela. Having a bit of a friendly hello from across the way down under. 40 seconds remain on the clock here. Venezuela has their eyes on the prize here. There is hope for them yet to be able to get a win here. Going in for that punch. Able to play for survival, but Doomfist goes down. There's something about Skycard that you just cannot put your finger on here. 18 seconds remaining. Bobby Wasabi trying to teleport away, but will get traded. Oh no, Doomfist is going to be locked in. Do they have anything to work with? They will be able to touch for the overtime here, but there's no ultimates. They're into overtime, and with their back against the wall, it's not looking good. That's a start there. It's a pick, but they need a little bit more there. Bobby Wasabi with the touch. If the Reaper can get the Death Blossom, it would have been fantastical. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. Ladies and gentlemen, Venezuela pulls away with a victory. And going to be seeing our ending scoreboard there. It's really DeMart's time to shine. I mean, good on Venezuela there. Really big showing. Took the point towards third. And was able to put a stop to Colombia, where they were snowballing. So as we turn things on back to yours truly here, we will be heading into a map number 3. I believe my team is going to be the longest one to be held up. And we are immediately speed running our next selections here. In fact, we have our next map already. Let's take a look. Now, going to be seeing here Coliseum as the third pick. The immediate ban coming in here from Colombia is Hazard, and I am not surprised to see such a ban. Hazard had a lot of momentum going into that fight and really cleaning up shop. So, with that said here, I would be looking at, for the side of Venezuela, who do they want to ban? And anything, the Emery had a bit of effect, but not to enough of a degree that I think it was impactful enough to really put them in a bit of fear. So, I mean, we have a game on our hands here. I believe this has broken everyone's prediction at this rate because no one was looking to see Venezuela, I think, take a map even from what I was talking around. So this is a great showing for them. They could really kind of prove to the world that they have their fight in them ready to go. And if they could really lock this in against Colombia, despite the delays that we witnessed earlier or the technical difficulties, that would truly be a great show match to witness. So, with that said here, Going to be looking into our final selections. Just under a minute remaining. And it seems Venezuela is still looking to get those lock-ins. Thought I heard something around the corner. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Angel Ray. I was expecting Colombia to just be able to take that. They didn't get to a third point, so that second point was just too brutal. Even first point was way too scrappy. This is what we were seeing on Colombia's defense as well, is that they separated hard, real hard. And unfortunately, it did prove to be their downfall. You hate to see it, but it is what happens. I'm going to be honest, Pizza Girl, I have no idea what any of that says. I hope it is allowed, as I'm about to do a lookup here. Well, looks like it's just a rah, rah, rah. So, nothing too bad. Smart detection. Yeah. I see you guys really hyping up in the chat there, and I'm all for it. I just got to approve it every single time. Because the stream thinks that you guys are doing something weird. Yes. This is, as it stands, the current last match that we are all waiting on. And I'm going to do a quick look at the lineups here. Ooh, big prediction breakers already, believe it or not. So just to run down the line, given that Colombia is the last one that we are waiting on, Puerto Rico loses to Peru 2-1. So that does break my prediction there. Complete reverse sweep to see it. Yeah, and I can already see it in the chat here from the production side of the team. Everyone's going, my predictions, my gains. But let's head on over to Coliseum. The teams are ready to go, and we get to see for our second band here is going to be Reaper. So not a bad decision there for the Reaper band to get that out of the way. Good ideal. Because Reaper definitely had a bit of threat value to start. We are not going to be looking at that possible bad message. Sorry, can't show that on stream. So with 10 seconds remaining here, let's see what the lineups are. No hazard to work with, by the way. And there you have it. Orisa. I actually like the Orisa. Orisa and Sig, I think these are very solid selections here for tank lines for this map. As for the rest of the lineup here, hopping it over to the Diva. It's alright, but you gotta really work your way in and out. Yeah, there it is. And Xion already running on in there. Oh, look at this here. Bobby here with the Street Fighter skin. Honestly, despite it being only an epic, very clean skin. I like it a lot. And also one of the coolest intros, mind you. So 10 minutes on the clock to work with. Whoever gets the final destination will take the point. I think both teams are really eager to see this start up here. Now Tool, who's going to be finding themselves in a bit of dire straits because they don't really have the same protection that you're seeing coming in from the side of Colombia there with said cover. New 7 will be able to get that takedown in the end, but they were struggling for a certain. A bit funny to witness, mind you. So looking for that lineup there. I am surprised the Martz is forcing the Junkrat for all the maps here. Definitely would have thought we'd see a change up. Again, great use there for the Junkertown towards second point, but overall, not something you would really encourage to say the least. But enough nitpicking from me. You do see here your swap here over to Lucio. Oh, the Bolo takedown! Yes, that too is going to leave you guessing for a certain there. Tulu will go down, and Colombia is through with messing around. Just barely able to save their Junkrat there. Close spawn has been awarded to Colombia, and now going to be looking to see how they can turn this back. Sake here has the gravitational flux, needs to be careful not to get speared by the Orisa. The Javelin now being used, as well as the spin. This is actually everything they've got. I think Orisa overcommitted for this. Is caught to start there. As soon as that Javelin's used again, this could be a free play here for the SIG. They will be able to get those takedowns to start as they start it all up. And still pushing here. We've seen the Marts come and make plays while under pressure, but that's still a tall order to work with here against this team for certain. I'd be careful of the Tiger Barrage. Do not want to see Xion when they get mad. Oh, and look at this. The Marts into the back line there will be taken on down the end by New 7 through it all. As Bolo's been activated, there's the Tiger, finds one. And that's a team kill right there. A bit of a celebratory beat drop from Night Owl as they look to keep him in spawn. The Marts had Tire, but could not use it. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Colombia gonna solve it all with a 2-1 victory. And your play of the game coming out from New 7. Ending scoreboard just to show. I mean, some great stuff here from this Bolo. It was a beautiful takedown there for Opportunity that followed up quite nicely. Now we're going to head to a quick break, folks, as we're going to be looking to see what our next matches will be. As you see, ending in that 2-1 victory there for the side of Colombia. Definitely happy to progress, but I think they definitely wanted to have that finished off. So, with that being said there, we'll be seeing that we'll have our next match in hopefully just a few minutes. Until then, stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again, and let's turn it on over here. We have now the following two teams for our last and final match of the night. It's going to be Puerto Rico versus Venezuela. Just coming hot off of that loss there for Venezuela. Not feeling great, but not feeling too bad overall. The last push map definitely was a brutal one for them to have to suffer, but compared to how they were fighting that first control point and how they were really able to come out on top on the Junkertown, I think there's definitely a possibility for Venezuela here. Now, in comparison, we do have them up against Puerto Rico, who had the initial lead on the control point against Team Peru, but unfortunately got reverse swept in the end, losing 2-1 in favor of Team Peru. So both these teams now trying to see if they could look for potential to lock their spot in to the following weekend, as only, once again, 6 teams will progress to the playoffs. Now, we already do have our map selection and our first ban here coming out from Puerto Rico. So, let's take a look at those selections now. Going to be seeing for our first map selection here, it's going to be Nepal, as they'll be started off with a Diva ban to begin with here. Now, ball's over in Venezuela's court. Curious for what their selection is going to be, especially given that on a map such as Nepal, Hazard definitely is going to have a lot more utilization here. Unless we could see the Cat banned again. This is another map that Cat Bastion could have a lot of usage in the outdoor space, but especially used on Shrine. We will just have to see. Now, for those of you that are still tuned in from around the world, I do say thank you for joining us here. I am Sominomi. I'm an English speaker on the coast of the United States, and hoping to bring you the action-packed gameplay that you're looking for. So, without further ado, looking for these lineups to be finalized here for both sides. We will take the time here, while I have it, to introduce the teams. So, for the predicted starting lineup here, for the side of Puerto Rico, you're going to be looking at Purely, Bunny, Gabo, Silent Joseph, and Scout. And coming in from their counterparts here will be Tulu, Demarts, One Ghost, Skycard, and Ciro Fiesto. I definitely butchered it, and I know I'm going to, so Ciro, I do apologize. Without further ado, we are going to be taking ourselves in right away here as soon as we get the finishing sides. Interesting thing about Face It makes you think you're on one side of the map when you're really on the other when you load on in. Bit backwards in that aspect. That being said here, making sure that I do have the right teams on the right side. That I do. I always have to double check myself real quick. Oh, and it seems I did not quite get everyone into the right side there. Should update now. There we have it. Just had to double check myself. Yes, Puerto Rico here. I'm going to actually have Coconut in Iggy the dog.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, without further ado, let's get this match underway. Wrecking Ball versus Ramatra Comp. A high dive poke side versus a slow brawl to the hull. I think Wrecking Ball there needing to really play it a bit smart in the startup here. Xion got to be looking to work the deal with this Wrecking Ball. Actually putting in a lot of damage to start. Just forced to dismount immediately. Not a whole lot to work with as Gabo already flanked from behind here. Moomin Rider really looking to see if they can ride around freely. And that's going to be starting this count up here and now. As you're going to be having Venezuela look to try to play it a bit safe. Oh, nice prediction try, but unfortunately just going to be above your head. I think the explosion even tricked me up a bit. Teleporting right into their death here. They are currently getting surrounded by Puerto Rico. Oh, they wanted to see if they can get that environmental kill there. I mean, take a look at this right now, right? You have that first elimination there. DeMart's really desperately playing for her life. And out of nowhere, the Kiriko getting that side hit that takes out the Marts. I must say here that Puerto Rico really putting on a good show. Just able to hit those headshots where they need them the most. But the point will turn. So as we're witnessing it now, at its present moment, looking a little bit more difficult here for them to be able to turn this around. But the takedown does find its value to start. For two who trying to maintain a front line could be useful, but I don't think it's going to be useful enough, unfortunately. If anything, the fight is on point, and they are nowhere near being involved in it. As Wrecking Ball makes their way around, going to be walking it up here to try to get a takedown. So for the Marts here, trying to see if they can push back the Wrecking Ball. I think right now, if you're Puerto Rico, you're doing a great job for space. You got a lot of ult charge to work with, or ultimates in general. And you're still building. Double DPS ult's going to be activated here between the front and back line. Just looking to get the damage, but damage will not be found. Gabo will get the takedown in the end, but trying to dodge this annihilation around the pillar. They're scared for their life, and they should be. Tohu is on a tear, but not for long as they get taken down in the end. Yes, a lot of fans here of Gabo being able to just run freely here as they're running back to spawn themselves. It's up to Skycard to really get some value here on the Mizuki. This Sanctuary needs the hit, but they need people on point. Gonna be fighting around there. Ooh, the takedown to the Juno will not be able to sustain for their life. Sanctuary has been activated here with the beat drop to match from Scout. And from the looks of it, to me, Puerto Rico really could be just sitting strong here. If they can get one more pick, that's going to be it right there. Gabo now going to be running around to look for the follow-through on the takedown. The March runs in with this tire, but no one's going to be caught by it. It's too late in the end, as round number one is going to go to Puerto Rico. 0-1. And I'm going to be taking a look at the scoreboard here to start. Big difference there. I mean, wide difference, if anything. Tulu's been putting in that work, getting those 6, but for the rest of the team, the same can't be said. The Marts really was suffering from being able to make any space follow through off of Tulu. And from there, the Mizuki wasn't quite getting the lockdowns needed quickly enough, and I think that's what really hurt Venezuela there. So Puerto Rico looking to definitely continue to capitalize upon it as they go into this next one. They spot the ball coming in already. They're very aware that there's someone on their 6 here. And it's a full rotation here. Ball really taking the time. Big slam to start up with 1,000 hit points to work with as well. Sending the Cassidy into the wall. Wants to get that Junkrat, but plays it safe. Knows not to be greedy. A little bit of a trick up there. Gabo kind of messing with their own team. Hey, is that my team strap? Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Yes, the Junkrat, the newer Junkrat here, as you're seeing from the OWCS skin, has a bit of a larger trap compared to the classic one. Visually, that is. A big takedown there against the Cassidy, and able to actually sustain themselves. They're disengaging very well to make sure they don't get caught out. Oh, this could be very dirty. Coming in from behind, gonna find the one, and looking for the two, but not gonna get it. It was a great opportunity for success, but not to be found here. As you're seeing, Widow is actually feeling fairly free for the shots across the way. They have a great crossfire set up now, but find themselves in a bit of trouble. Iggy, I think, could go down here. The Widowmaker is free to leave, but unfortunately the Ana is not. Tires letting her rip. Could find someone. Does. It's going to be Skycard. You lose that Kiriko to start, and that actually is a big opener here for Puerto Rico if they can capitalize on it. Oh, this is going to be a little disastrous there. Minefield's in, but no one's going to be hit by it, unfortunately. Stunned. Nano going to be able to save them into that fight. Needs this grapple to roll through properly here. Trying to hit their shots. Lucio will live. On the tire to get the revenge elimination. Look at it, red! Just complete madness there. Almost had a slam down into the abyss against Tolu there, who will now turn the point. Gabo gained a direct hit there. But right now, Puerto Rico needs to regroup. Coconut is in a very bad position here. Just barely able to stay alive thanks to that Mega. But I definitely not thinking it's enough for them. The baller here needs to be able to play it safe. Trying to play for health packs. They're being very strategic about this here. But walks right into the trap. High Noon's activated. Doesn't find anyone. No! Instead, it gets no value, unfortunately. It's a complete runaround to the other side here. Annihilation is in effect, and they're looking to find more. We're playing a bit of a ring around the rosy here, I must say. Sohu is just playing a game of tag here, trying to catch whoever they can find. Beat drop has been activated here. Wrecking Ball gets the roll through off the stairs and finds an immediate 2 there to start. Junkrat, hero of anti-air defense. Not quite sure that's the way it's going, but hey, we'll give it to you. Oh, the immediate roll in with the speed. Could catch Lucio here. See how he's already lining up for the shot? Our thing about the Wrecking Ball is that it's a game focused on trying to line up the shots. We'll be able to get to Lucio in the end there, thanks to Coconut. As Gabu finds their own tire kill against the Marts. A bit brutal if you ask me, but you know what? Showing what you're worth. See, Gabu's very paranoid about their behind, and I think I would be too. Already going to receive that shot there, but the boop off the side. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Puerto Rico takes map number 1. With your ending scoreboard here as seen. Play the game, brought to you by Coconut. I mean, they had some great value here in the back with the startup here, and the unexpected takedown against the Ramatra really helped them out beautifully. As we're going to take things on back to yours truly here. I mean, great showing there from Puerto Rico. Fantastic way to have them play. And given that we are going to be looking for a potential immediate send-in for the escort here, really curious what the next map's going to be. I mean, we've seen from when I was streaming on day 1, Shambali Monastery the entire time. A new map pick, even since day 2, was that Junkertown for Venezuela, which, if I'm Venezuela right now, all things considered, right? Looking at what your map selection is going to be here, Shambali Monastery. Ooh, Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, not the map I would have thought they'd select here. I could have seen a better use out of Havana in comparison than Shambali. It's a hope that they have a strategy here. As for Puerto Rico, I think this works well if they continue playing the ball. You have a lot of different high ground to low ground and a lot of different cubbies that you can just roll on through. And I mean, that's what we were constantly seeing from that last round there is that ball had free space. Unless you lock them down or you deal with the back line, you're kind of putting things up to chance here. And when Venezuela really did deal with that back line, they found a lot of value. But I'm just curious who made the decision off of that one. That being said, here now going to be going on into the bans. Looking for our first ban here. They have 3 minutes on the board. Excuse me. It's getting pretty late. If I am looking at Venezuela right now, I could see the ball ban, but it is also a bit awkward on this map. Just a little. And from the rest of it, might be a support ban I think they would focus on more. Unless they're very pressured to keep a Lucio, probably want to slow down the plays. The beat drops were very useful for either side, but they really were rolling through on Puerto Rico. And here's your first ban from Venezuela. It's going to be Tracer. I mean, it's a good enough ban. It could be a Protect in my eyes here for their selection, as they're now going to finalize their roster selection. I mean, looking at all things here considered, between the Shambali Monastery and their other choice, it's really off of the team comforts at this point. So without further ado, let's get ourselves right on into the lobby. Immediately going to be loading on in here as we see these players ready up.
Initiating match.
Well, here you have it. It's match point territory in favor of Puerto Rico. And they are set to play. I'm seeing these two Junkrats and I'm thinking to myself, what is going through your heads, guys? I think the teams are looking to have some fun, is what we're really seeing. Oh, look at that. Nice serve. Jumble their code. As if Junkrat is any bit of tech savviness. Seems everyone's having a bit of a strategy meeting here. Kind of listening in on one another. And now for the real action. Bunny here starting on the Widowmaker. Look at this angle from the opposite side here. Looking to line it up. Just needs to get back over the pass. Will be able to as they start this on up. Oh, big start up there. Hog going to get full value off of the hook. Coconut, as you're going to be seeing it. Seems Lucio really is just taking the time to scout, if you will. I believe we have our sides swapped here real quick. Let me just fix that for us. Perfect. So that should look proper now. I don't know what Scout's doing, but Junkrat's looking to join them. Oh, they're having a real tough time on that opposite movement. In the actual team fight, however, you are seeing that Coconut and Bunny are going to be forced on out. Coconut forcibly playing the front line here, but will be taken on down as two fall. Sojourn looking for the run-in through here. And I definitely see its value out of it now. Getting that Sojourn ban from the first one, very reasonable here. So they are finding full use off of these fights here. And remember, if they get this point, they're awarded 2.5 minutes. So a 5-minute time bank is a great thing to have to utilize. As for Puerto Rico off the high ground here, their biggest focus is to be able to sustain themselves. Oh, we have a bit of sight. Big shots there. One, getting the two. Could we see a third? And a nice lineup there. They got the job done. Bunny really popping it off with the Widowmaker. Trying to see what they could pull through with right now. And the takedown against Tolu will stagger things out for the side of Venezuela. I mean, the Widow really has a bit of this threat aspect that you got to be careful of. Gabo getting that initial pick off of the Lucio and the Sojourn kind of helps things out for the teams in these fights. They're trying to run away, back up if possible. Gets the block in there, and now with the whole hog as well to boot. But everyone's zoned out too much. If you can keep it into the corner, that'd be great. But they're running for their life. Oh, brutal takedown. And you're left with a minute to win it for the side of Venezuela. Definitely a tougher one to find yourselves in. Not something that you would really hope for the takedown. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, the giveaway has been started up right now for notifications. If you go to that Brazil Discord, you will be able to get an entry for winning a battle pass. There'll be 2 winners, so be sure to tune in for that. I will be sure to get that to you in between our fights. Beat drop there just in time to help save the Roadhog through the cage fight. They are pushing the payload here to start, but it's a Lucio versus a Widow, and I think this Lucio is hopping mad. Before the takedown themselves. Scout getting a bit of due service. Now the Martz here has this tire to the skies. Look at this. Big strategy. It's just looking for anyone to find, but not going to be able to. And now you have your sights. Big trades from either side here, but it looks like it's in favor of Puerto Rico. Venezuela here only has 2 players remaining. Into the skies, missing their shots. Finds it in the end. And that looks to be it. Unless Junkrat touches, no siree. There you have it. Round number 1.
Score 0-0. Switching sides.
And there is our mid-round scoreboard. While we have the time in between, once again, I do implore people to enter into the giveaway. For those of you that are not aware of what the server is, well, you can find it here in just a moment, as we will be linking it here in the chat. So if you do want to try to connect with people from the Latin America or Southern America, I highly suggest joining. It's a good time. You can find the giveaway underneath the Portuguese role if you take it. Giveaway is set to end here, by the way, in the next 28 minutes from when I said this. So current time is 10:08, and you will see this at 10:10. So in probably 26 minutes when you see it. That being said, here, the Marts trying to see if they can surf this. I bet you there was some sort of social media post about getting into this position here that everyone seems to be trying. It's a funny thing to witness. I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to get anything done. Would have been surprised there, the Gabo. And I don't know what Gabo's doing, but they're running for the back line there with Lucio to speed. It's caused a great distraction that's kind of discombobulated everyone. positionally. So Iggy here going to be working with Roadhog to try to play for the high ground. Big hook to the sky there. Going to be able to get the takedown as the March falls. And a little bit of a hello to a D.Va in the backline. Funny thing about D.Va versus Roadhog, you would think on paper, yes, D.Va counters Roadhog, but no, Roadhog, if they get you in a room and they have hook available, can burn a D.Va really quickly. It's not practical just because of the momentum, but it is truly trying to make sure that they sustain. Oh, and that's already going to disrupt the play. And mind you, the cart's progress here is only around this corner, so there is not a lot of space needing to be pushed here. It's all about just finishing the plays. And a big takedown there to start. Bunny here just wants to get those headshots. Xion also going to fall to Coconut. Coconut has been on a tear right now in the second map. Oh, and make that a third, ladies and gents. If they can finish the shot, there you have it. And a little bit close to the tail. But D.Va's the last one alive here. Needs the D-Mech where possible, but cannot get it. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Puerto Rico finishes this round. With your ending scoreboard here to be seen. Play the game brought to you by Bunny. The Widowmaker really coming in clutch here. Off of their headshots. Like, immediate value for the takedowns here. Oh, and that was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment. But beautiful whip shot. Well, I do hope everyone did enjoy watching. We are going to be doing a quick validation to see if it is still us that the teams are waiting on. And believe it or not, it isn't. So we are going to take this show on the road to the next set here with a raid. So I do hope everyone stays in tune. We will be selecting someone here that is also live for the Copa de América. Let me just find those real quick there as we finish up this scoreboard. I mean, a complete 1-0 victory there. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Puerto Rico definitely feeling pretty good about themselves for being able to win that map. It came in clutch. Again, I don't think the Shambali Monastery was the right call. I would have rather we see that Junkertown for Venezuela. But at the end of the day, teams are going to have fun and they have to live with the choices that they've made. All right, give me a moment here. I will try to find us a stream to raid here as we take a look at things. So you will be sent on over to the break, and I'll see you guys later.